95% of people who try to lose weight fail to do so long term. That is a real statistic. That's 19 out of 20 people who try to lose weight fail to do so long term. And when I say long term, this is defined by losing 10% of your body weight and keeping it off for more than 5 years. That is an extremely low success rate. And there are obviously many different reasons as to why people struggle with their weight. But one of the main reasons why I think people fail to lose weight long term, because the truth is we don't have a weight loss problem. Most people who attempt to lose weight lose a significant amount of weight at some point in their life. The issue is that they regain it all, right? They can't maintain the weight loss. And I think that one of the reasons why people really struggle to maintain weight loss long term is because the methods that they use to lose weight are destined to fail from the beginning. Okay. People are so fixated on quick fix solutions. I'm going to go on this restrictive diet. I'm going to do a ton of cardio. I'm going to fast for 48 hours. And they use methods that are not sustainable long term. Okay, this would be the same. I like this analogy a lot because it really paints the picture. This would be the same as saying, I want to become financially free. I want to become wealthy. And somebody asks you, how are you going to do that? And your answer is by playing the lottery. Sure, if you play the lottery, there is a very small percentage chance, maybe like 0.0000001% chance of becoming rich. It could happen, right? But most of the time, you're going to lose money. You're not going to become financially free, right? You wouldn't say that playing the lottery is a good way to become rich long term. It's not a strategy to become rich long term for the majority of people. Yet, playing the lottery is kind of what people do with their weight loss journey when it comes to the methods that they use for trying to lose weight because they're unsustainable and they're not able to maintain them long term. And we're going to talk about a couple of these things here in a minute. It's like, yes, sure, some people have success using some of these methods, and that's why people are online talking about some of these methods that are effective for them. But for the vast majority of people, many of these methods are not effective, specifically long term, because anything can work in the short term. So, what I want to share with you guys here today are 6 concepts or 6 perspective shifting frameworks that I work on with clients at Fit for Life Academy to help them change the way that they view health and fitness and help them improve their approach so that they increase their likelihood of losing weight, keeping it off, improving their health and fitness, and feeling confident in their body. Okay? The first concept is that focusing on weight loss is the wrong goal. I know that sounds crazy because some of you guys are thinking, well, I want to lose weight. What do you mean, Dr. Joey? Here's the thing. The goal should not be to lose weight. The goal should be to improve your body composition. And losing weight can be an aspect of improving your body composition, but it should not be the main focus. Okay? So, what's the difference between losing weight and improving your body composition? Well, when we talk about when we talk about improving body composition, I should say, we're talking specifically about losing body fat and maintaining or building muscle mass. Okay? When we talk about losing weight is not synonymous with just losing body fat, because when we lose weight, we lose a certain amount of body fat, but we can also lose a certain amount of muscle mass. And unfortunately, a lot of the restrictive solutions that people use result in more loss of muscle mass. And if you lose 20 pounds, but a good amount of that is muscle mass, you haven't improved your health, you haven't improved your body composition, you haven't really improved your physical shape either, and you might even be in a worse place than when you started off. So the things that we need to do should be geared toward improving body composition. And by nature, the things that help you improve your body composition are anti-quick fixes, right? So simply by focusing on body composition, you're already going to be moving in the right direction, right? If you go on really restrictive diets, if you're doing excessive amounts of cardio, if you're fasting for prolonged periods of times, these things are not necessarily ideal for improving body composition, even though they might help you lose weight. And we'll talk about some of the things that you should focus on to improve your body composition first and foremost. But again, the goal is to focus on improving body composition, losing body fat specifically, not just focusing on weight loss, and really focusing on maintaining or preserving muscle mass. Muscle mass is incredibly important because muscle mass, one, will help you look better. It's going to help you feel stronger, more physically capable. Muscle mass is incredibly important as we age as well because we tend to lose it, and it's associated with the development of a ton of chronic diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, etc. But in addition, Muscle is metabolically active, which means that it'll help you burn more calories at rest. So it makes it easier for you to stay lean long term, right? Lose weight and keep it off long term if you have more muscle mass. Concept number 2 is that the things you do to get in shape are the things you need to keep doing for the rest of your life if you want to stay in shape. This is such a simple concept to understand, but most people don't ever think about this. And it's important to think about this right off the bat when it comes to your weight loss journey or your fitness journey because it sets you up for success. Here's my perspective. If you can't do something forever, don't do it for a day, right? If you're going to follow a diet that you know you don't enjoy and you're not going to stick to it long term, don't do it. It's not the right diet for you. If you're going to follow a workout plan that doesn't fit your lifestyle, don't do it. Start with one that does fit your lifestyle. Okay. Most people always say they're going to go on a diet. And when you ask them, what are you going to do after your diet? They say they're going to come off of their diet, right? They never really think about the diet after the diet. And I don't even like to call it a diet, but that really helps paint the picture. The goal is that you need to do something forever. So you need to start developing healthy habits, healthy behaviors that help you improve your body composition, but that feel sustainable and enjoyable to you long term. I have a perfect story I like to share here. I had a conversation with my uncle-in-law once, and he's somebody who's always struggled with his weight. And he called me one day and he goes, "Hey, Joey, I just want to get your take on this. I'm trying to lose weight." And I asked him, "All right, man, what's up? What are you going to do?" And he goes, "I'm going to stop drinking altogether." Great, that would be awesome. But he's somebody who drinks every day, and it's hard to just go from drinking every day to not drinking at all. And he goes, "And I'm going to start doing Orange Theory twice a day, every day." And this is somebody who doesn't exercise at all. And I asked him, "Well, how long are you going to do that Orange Theory for?" And he starts laughing and he goes, "Until I lose the weight." And I said, "Well, what are you going to do after you lose the weight?" And he goes, "I'm going to stop doing Orange Theory." I was like, man, this is such a backwards perspective. But unfortunately, this is how a lot of people think about health and fitness, right? They think about going on this specific plan to lose weight, and then they don't think about what they're going to be doing after they lose weight, which is one of the reasons why they regain weight. Again, the things you do to get in shape are the things you need to keep doing for the rest of your life to stay in shape. So you better start focusing on doing things that feel sustainable and that you can maintain for a long time if your goal is to keep the weight off or to lose the weight and keep it off, right? Goal or concept number 3, I should say, is that the purpose of exercise, we're going to talk about some specific things that we should be doing here now, and they're around nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, all the stuff that I always talk about. Concept number 3 is that the purpose of exercise is not to lose weight. It is to improve your health and improve your physical capacities. Stop seeing exercise as a means to burn calories. First and foremost, you can't really out-exercise a bad diet, right? It takes a long time to burn 400 or 500 calories, and it's pretty easy to eat 500 calories. I mean, I could literally have one or two things like a donut in under a minute, and that's 400 or 500 calories right there. So exercise is not an effective means to lose weight. It's not, the purpose of exercise is not to burn a ton of calories, although exercise does burn calories and that is helpful. But you should see exercise as a means to improve your health and as a means to improve your physical capacities. I think this builds a much healthier relationship with exercise, where you're not seeing exercise as a way to just punish yourself. Because guess what? If you see exercise as a way to punish yourself, you're not going to maintain your exercise routine long term because you're not going to enjoy it, right? And here at Fit for Life Academy, we are pretty biased. We like focusing on exercising in a way that helps you optimize muscle growth, because we were talking about earlier in concept number 2, I believe, concept number 1, that it's important to build muscle. Right? So your exercise routine should be focused primarily on helping you build muscle through resistance training, right? And lifting weights itself doesn't guarantee that you build muscle. It's a great start, but you want to learn how to really optimize your training to help you build muscle. Things like proper exercise selection, variables like range of motion, intensity, all of these things that matter and that you need to be implementing in your exercise routine to help you build muscle optimally. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt this episode, but I just wanted to let you know that I recently partnered with Hungry Root, which is a fantastic meal delivery service. Honestly, I rarely ever partner with companies because I only like to support companies and products that I truly believe in. And unfortunately, in the fitness space, there's a ton of shitty products. But every once in a while, I have the opportunity to partner with amazing companies like Hungry Root, When you go to their website, all you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire about your dietary preferences to make sure that the food they send you is actually stuff that you like. I always select for the meals to take minimal prep time because I don't want to spend a ton of time cooking. They literally take under 5 minutes. And I choose the high protein option for the gains, of course. What's cool is that they also send you specific recipes to make with the ingredients that they send you to make sure that nothing goes to waste. I really appreciate that because I can't tell you how much stuff we throw out in our house. If you're looking for a convenient, healthy, delicious, and affordable food delivery service, make sure to check out Hungry Root. You will not be disappointed. The link to their site will be down in the description of this episode. And they've been kind enough to support my podcast and give you, the listener, 40% off of your first order by using the code JoeyMunoz40, which will just be automatically put into your cart when you use the specific link that's in the description of this episode. All right, let's go ahead and get back into the podcast. Concept number 4 is very similar to concept number 3, but it is to stop approaching nutrition and your diet from a restrictive perspective. Most people, when they say they're going to go on a diet or they're going to clean up their diet, the first thing they talk about is what are they going to stop eating? I'm not going to eat this food. I'm not going to eat that food because these are bad foods, quote unquote, right? If you guys follow me and follow my content, you know that I'm not a fan of labeling things as good or bad in like any blanket, as a blanket statement, because context really matters, right? Good for what? Bad for what, right? Even highly processed foods. And this is an extreme example, but I like extreme examples because it helps paint the picture. Let's say a Snickers bar. Is that good or bad? Most people would say it's bad because it's candy. What if you're dying and you haven't eaten in a week? That could be helpful, right? People say that's an extreme example. Okay, well, what if you're going to be training in an hour or so and you've been fasting for quite some time? That Snickers bar might help fuel performance and help you perform a little bit better, right? So it really depends on the context. Aside from that, focusing on nutrition or trying to improve your diet or clean up your diet by focusing on what not to eat is a backwards approach, right? Because you put no focus on what you actually should be eating. I think a much healthier approach to your diet is to focus on what you should be eating. Focus on developing a healthy overall diet. And we talk to our clients about this pretty much every day, but focus on key nutrition habits that will do the 3 following things. Help you meet your nutritional needs. These are both macronutrient and micronutrient needs. Help you manage and regulate your hunger, because if you're hungry all the time, you're not going to be able to stick to a diet long term because hunger sucks, right? And the third thing is that your diet should be enjoyable. Again, if you're going to maintain it long term, it should be enjoyable. We don't just eat for sustenance. We also eat for enjoyability, right? So the way that you eat, the way your diet looks should be enjoyable. And if you guys are thinking like, well, what things do I need to focus on? I have a ton of podcast episodes on these different variables, focusing on things like whole foods, protein and fiber, fruits and veggies, low calorie dense foods. These are the things that help you meet your nutrient needs, help you feel satiated, which is the opposite of hungry, and you can select the foods that you enjoy to have an overall healthy and sustainable diet. This is the way to have success with your diet long term. There's really good research that shows that people who have dichotomous thinking, aka thinking of food as good or bad. So what I was talking about earlier about approaching nutrition from a nutritional perspective, or restrictive perspective, I should say. This is what we call dichotomous thinking, right? Like, these foods are bad, I don't eat them. People who think that way have a lower success rate of losing weight. They have a higher risk of weight regain, and they have a higher risk of eating disorders as well. Whereas people who have a more flexible approach, aka they understand that there's nuance to nutrition, and it's not a big deal if you have a piece of cake at your mom's birthday party because it's a celebration. People who have more flexibility in that sense have better results when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to improving health, when it comes to maintaining weight long term. Okay, so again, concept number 4 is to stop approaching nutrition from the perspective of what do I need to stop eating, and approach nutrition from the perspective of how do I improve the quality of my diet? What foods should I be eating every day? Okay. Concept number 5 is that nutrition and workouts, aka exercise, are not the only things that matter. Your lifestyle, sleep, stress management, there are a ton of different variables that really, really matter. And I like to emphasize here the importance of sleep, right? Because I don't have time to talk about every single one of these, but I want to talk about sleep specifically, because oftentimes people have really bad sleep. And I would say that if you have really bad sleep, You should probably get that in check before you get super hyperfixated on your diet and your exercise plan. Although those things can help each other. But there's really good science showing that sleep restriction, poor chronic sleep, results in worse weight loss outcomes. First, if you are chronically sleep deprived, you feel hungrier throughout the day. Hunger hormones like ghrelin are elevated throughout the day. You also have lower energy expenditure, so you burn less calories. And you have a higher craving for calorie dense foods. I don't know about you, but higher craving for calorie dense foods, lower energy expenditure, and higher hunger is not a good recipe for somebody who's trying to lose weight and improve their health. And I wish this was the end of it, but if we go a step further, there's really good science showing that people who lose weight while sleep restricted lose substantially more muscle mass than somebody who sleeps adequately. Okay? So if you lose 20 pounds and you're sleep restricted, you're going to lose less fat and more muscle. That is not good. Okay? So sleep is paramount. And so are all the other variables related to lifestyle that are impossible to cover here, but things like your food environment, things like social environments, things like stress, alcohol intake, etc. They all play a role when it comes to improving your health and body composition and maintaining weight loss long term. So you can't just focus on one thing. You really need to focus on all these different variables. That's concept number 5. And the last concept number 6, and this one's really important for long-term success, is to stop being so outcome oriented and be more process oriented. People hyperfixate so much on the outcome, in this case, losing weight. And they feel really good when they see the scale go down, and they feel really bad when they see the scale go up, which is so silly because weight fluctuates from day to day anyways. And what's really important is instead of being so focused on just the outcome, be focused on the process. What do I mean by the process? Well, what are you doing? Are you tracking your calories? Are you eating sufficient protein? Are you getting your 4 workouts in? Are you getting your steps in? Are you sleeping well? Right? These are the things that you need to focus on every day. That is the process. Focus on the process. And if you stick to the process and you are executing on the process and keeping the promises that you made to yourself, then you should be celebrating that. Celebrate the small wins along the way because that creates positive reinforcement with what you're doing. And as humans, we tend to move towards comfort and move away from discomfort, right? And simply focusing on the process, executing on the small little things every day, and celebrating the small wins in terms of adherence to your plan is a much more sustainable and enjoyable way to achieve your goals than simply just focusing on whether or not you lost weight from day to day. Anyways, guys, I hope this helps and I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, if you're a regular listener and you find value with the podcast or from the podcast, I should say, all I ask is that you take a second to rate the podcast and leave a review. And if you're on YouTube, give me a comment and a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It does help me a ton. I obviously put out these episodes completely for free. They take a ton of time and effort, and it's just a small and easy way for you to show your gratitude. And if you have goals around improving your health and fitness, and you think you'd benefit from working with us here at Fit for Life Academy, feel free to click the link below and apply for our coaching program. As always, I will catch you in next week's episode. Peace.